Alrighty. Cool, that audio works. Yep, that audio works. Just music. 9GMR, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I have got some interesting stories to tell. I've had quite the couple of weeks. So if you'll just stay with us one moment while we get our shit going. Stream music. Stream music, you wanna work. My computer lagging. Come on. Work with me. What is it saying about the audio? The audio stream current bitrate. What? Is the audio working good for you guys? Okay, so it's just... Okay, cool, so it's just saying some bullshit that I can ignore. Giving me some sort of warning about, like, the audio's recommended bitrate, so shut up. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today, mainly we're just doing a storytelling stream, but for visuals, I'm also going to be doing a little bit of work on the base, because it's kind of ugly outside. I did a little bit. I kind of added this, like, retainer wall. And that is all that I've done. Because I don't really know what I'm doing. Also, I made this cool system so I could get from behind the scenes. So if I just go over this pressure plates like normally to make sure the doors open and close, nothing happens. But if I stand on them for long enough, and only if I stand on them for long enough, that door opens. It's pretty cool. There's some nonsense going on under here. It's pretty cool, and then I can just get out. So now if I need to get behind the scenes in my base, I can do that without breaking the wall. There's an official entrance. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to cough. I just had to cough a little bit. I have a little bit of a cough. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. It's not like a full cold. Although my voice does sound a little disgusting. I'd like it to not be a full cold since I feel like I somewhat recently had one of those. But yeah, so, stories. So where have I been for the past like 2 weeks? Pretty much, actually quite soon after I uploaded my most recent video, which by the way, 1,000 views, that is not normal for me. Thank you to everyone who contributed to that. That is insane. Just getting these oars out the floor because they're ugly. Eventually we're going to put grass over here, or moss blocks because of the grass color. I built in an area with pretty landscaping, but very ugly grass. So. Also, these leaves are supposed to be darker. Which is weird. But anywho. So, I have been on 2 separate trips in the past 2 weeks. The The first one was like a senior summer trip thing, which I'll get into more detail about momentarily. And then the other one that I got back from literally yesterday was college orientation. So it's like senior trip was my last like high school senior type thing, and then I go into orientation. So it's like a nice transition from high schooler to college student. I'm still living at like, I guess you could say home. Won't be home in the next in 2 months, but yeah, still living in childhood home. And eventually we're gonna expand onto this island, so I figure I'll just take care of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this island, but it'll be something someday. But yeah. So the first trip was like a senior trip. It was out to the Bahamas. It was like organized by a company. It was out to the Bahamas. It was really interesting. I got to do international travel via boat, which was interesting, which by the way, international travel by boat, not the most pleasant of ways to travel. It's just extremely inefficient. It's so horrendously inefficient. But, I mean, it's fine. I got there in the end, everything was good. I got there and back in the end. Also, there was not the clearest of instructions for how to do all of the things, like passport stuff, general customs. Instructions were not the most clear. I was kind of just like figuring it out as I went, and somehow ending up on the right, and like getting it right enough. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Also, there's the Lily of the Valleys right over there, which is interesting because the Lily of the Valleys were kind of a pain to find when I was setting up the storage system filters, but we have them now. So that's always good. You can all go in there, and then it'll all get automatically sorted. I need a moss. And bone meal is up here. I don't have a lot. Should be fine. But yeah, senior trip to the Bahamas. Getting there was kind of inefficient. It was kind of such a mixed bag thing because there were parts, like, on paper, the trip really should have sucked ass, but it was actually like really fun and I enjoyed it. And that's pretty much entirely because of the people there that I met. So it was in the Bahamas, which you know, based on the way it was kind of advertised, I thought like it was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be like, not like, you know, I wasn't expecting like 5-star super ultra hotel, but I was like expecting, you know, something nice. No, the place was quite literally, basically the hotel rooms were literal motel rooms, like built exactly like like they were built like motel rooms, and the quality was about the same. There were no elevators to the upstairs because there were 2 stories of hotel rooms. I mean, it's advertised as a hotel, but it was literally just like a motel with like a motel with amenities, basically, is what it was. So it's not the funnest place to stay, and that's where most of the time spent was, which is kind of just like, eh. So, you know, we're already, that's kind of the vibe. That's sort of what the vibe is. Also, I'm just gonna place down temporary slabs. I don't know what the final slabs are. Granite, actually. Granite would be pretty good. Only problem is I do not have a lot of that. Let's see, I have that much polished granite, and that much. Okay. What's good? Hello, Tron. We're doing story times. Does moss go through stuff? I don't know. Granite, for now, we'll say that's gonna be our path block. But yeah, so the hotel was pretty much just a motel, which, you know, not the strongest of starts, not the best thing, because that's where we spend most of the time, is a motel with amenities, and I guess it can go through stuff. And also, we're gonna have to do some flood works because I do kind of just want this to be like flat grass. we'll keep the carpets in, because the carpets are kind of cool. But the rest of this, we kind of just want to be moss. Yeah, the hotel is basically a motel. And the activities also... My voice kind of cracked there, ignore that. But the activities also were kind of questionable. It was more or less just like clubbing every night. That's pretty much... They weren't very creative with the activities. It ended up just kind of being just clubbing for a week. Which, not the most fun. So like, that... You'd think it's not a particularly fun trip. Oh, and also, they allowed smoking at the hotel, as long as you did it outside, but the outsides and the insides were, like, the insides were kind of open to the outside, so everything just kind of smelled like cigarette smoke all the time. So you'd think it's pretty terrible, but it was actually a really fun trip, because the people there, like, the other people doing the trip, were just, like, really, they were just all really nice, and it was kind of fascinating. Because, like, so anyone who knows me knows, like, I don't know, because, like, I live in Florida, and people in Florida can kind of be whatever, so it's, like, people aren't mean to me, per se, but, like, I don't know, I just kind of, like, I've got my close friends, and I don't really interact with other people too much. Not necessarily out of choice, but just because, like, I don't know. They're not as, like, interested or whatever. But on this trip, like, I don't know, I was just that guy. Like, that sounds cringe, but, like, people genuinely were just, like, coming up to me a lot and being like, oh, hi. Like, as if, like, people I'd never met before, as if we were, like, friends. It is just, like, I don't know, it was interesting. And then also people always wanted to get pictures with me. Like, people I did not know just wanted to get pictures with me a lot, especially on like the second to last and the last days. Rooms are questionable, so I understand not talking to many people. Yeah. Although a lot of people on this trip were from Florida, but they were just like chill. I don't know. But yeah, most of the people, like people in Florida, just aren't always that interested in like initiating stuff with me, and I'm not usually interested in initiating stuff with them because I don't know if they want me to. So it kind of just is whatever. But yeah, everyone was just like initiating stuff, and it's not like I was doing anything particularly interesting. The only interesting thing I did, because also every night had like dress up themes, kind of like, it's kind of like how in Homecoming and stuff they do dress up themes. They did that for this too. Every like for all the nighttime activities, you like dress up for the evening in whatever the theme was, and one of the themes was Coachella, which is basically just wear a fancy outfit. Now, I didn't pack anything fancy because I don't really have anything, but at like a store type of thing at the hotel, because the hotel did have a store which sold some cool Bahamas merchandise. There were like beachy dresses and stuff, so I bought myself a dress and just casually wore a dress to Coachella. But like that was the second to last night, so people had already kind of like, people were already, like, being nice to me, and I was kind of, like, and, like, treating me like I was cool or whatever before that, and I hadn't done anything interesting until that point, so it's, like, I still don't really know what happens. I don't know why the people were just drawn to me. Like, I was just being awkward most of the time. I was just kind of, like, either just, like, sitting by myself or just kind of awkwardly hanging out with my friends, because it's, I don't know, there was never really any, like, one-on-one time with any friends. And it was a new friend group to me, which I'll get into that momentarily. So it's like, I don't really know how to do this group dynamic. So I'm just kind of like awkwardly standing adjacent to people because I don't want to like invade their personal space. So I'm just standing group adjacent. Which, I don't know. So like, I don't know what has drawn y'all toward me, but sure. Sure, fuck it, we ball. And also, really my only guess is like, I don't know, maybe my friend group was like talking me up. It's like the good kind of talking behind your back, where it's like, oh yeah, this dude's chill as fuck, we love him. Maybe that's what it was. But even then I still don't understand, because also the last night, like obviously people, when I was wearing the dress, people asked me for like to take pictures with me, Because, you know, that's kind of cool. It's like a dude rocking, like, absolutely fucking slaying in a dress. Because I fucking slayed. I looked good in that shit. I had that shit on. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry, my nose feels a little snotty. Got a little sick after I think that trip, but whatever, we all. But like the last night was just, it was called whiteout night, which is where you basically just wear all white. But I was just wearing like normal clothes and they were all white, and a bunch of people just like wanted to take a picture with me. It's like, like sure, like I'm not gonna say no, like feel free, but like why? Like what am I doing that is in any way interesting? Yeah, people were just like really nice to me, and I don't entirely know why. They just were. It was weird, like the good weird. But yeah, I mean, shout out to all the wonderful people I met, and also my friend group for this trip. The friend group for this trip was like new people, and it was actually really interesting. And they're what I will miss most about this trip. And also, yeah, I definitely don't want this to be moss. This can be moss, I just don't want. Damn nice, yeah. So, my friend group was interesting. So, a little bit of backstory for how I met the friend group. My college has like, I don't think it's official, but like, you know, Instagrams where you can like meet people from your class and just like post your profile there and be like, hey, I'm going to this school, we want to be friends, etc, etc, just that sort of deal. So I had put myself on one of those, and so someone who was on this trip recognized me from, like, before we had boarded the boat to go, and I knew at this point I had known like nobody here except like a few people from my high school, but we weren't really that close. So I was kind of just alone, and one of the dudes was like, yo, hello, Ariel. Can't go out no more, study too much, I guess. Maybe it's not enough for me. Yeah. Also, I want to moss up this obsidian, so. Yeah, so how I met as I was saying, I was on one of those like college, just meet people from your college, like my profile was on one of those like meet people from your college Instagrams. So someone who was on this trip, who apparently is also going to my college, recognized me from one of those and was like, yo, it's rmbu, except he said my real name, but I'm not doxing myself like that. He was like, yo, it's rmbu, and I was like, oh. It was like, oh, yo, person. So, like, I met him a little bit, and then his other friends were with him, so he kind of introduced me to them. And there was like this one big friend group. We're sort of split up into two smaller friend groups, which will make sense later. So basically the two friend groups were like the boys, and then also a few of the friends who are also girls, who just kind of like separate friend group. How much percent you got in 12th grade? I don't know. I think I ended with like a 4.0 GPA. I think that was weighted though. I think it's a weighted 4. Or maybe it's unweighted. I don't know. I don't really care. I got into college. That's kind of all that really matters. But yeah. So like there's kind of two friend groups. There's two friend groups that kind of knew each other and could be considered one big friend group, but it's mainly just the two smaller friend group. It's like the boys, one of which goes to my school, and that's the one that recognized me. What's a 4.0 GPA? Like, I got all A's, or like most, I don't know, I honestly don't give a flying fuck about, I don't know, I don't really care enough about answering questions about GPA, because it's like, you know, I'm done, I'm out. Oh, it does spread through, okay, fuck. Like, I'm out of high school. My high school GPA don't mean nothing to me no more. I'm already out of there, I'm in college. Oh yeah, the cum laude. That's That's not going to make any sense to people who don't have that system, and I'm not going to explain it because I don't care enough about it to explain it, and it's not interesting. So, yeah, y'all are just gonna wonder what the hell you're is talking about forever. Bro, got 1,000 national rank in 10th. Cool, I think. I don't know what any of that means. Anyways, back to the conversation about things that are actually interesting, because I'm bored of talking about school. Just chilling now, yeah. So, I broke a carpet. I didn't actually want to break a carpet. But, yeah, so anyways, 2 friend groups. There was the friend group of boys who I initially met, and then there was, like, the friend group of girls who I would meet kind of later on the bus, who were, like, associated with the friend group of boys, but it was still kind of different group. 1,000 to India. Cool, I think, I guess. Again, derailing my fun conversation with your boring school. I don't give it. Nah, I don't want to be mean. Congratulations if that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. But yeah. So 2 friend groups, blah blah blah. So I met the friend group of boys. I kind of just like, we introduced ourselves, and then I kind of just, and then they kind of just started talking. And I just kind of sat there awkwardly, and I sort of met the friend group of girls because the dudes were chill, and I think, I don't know, they were fucking with they're fucking with the awkward autistic kid energy, like. Because I am a little bit awkward and a little bit weird, but like when you get to know me, I can be pretty fun and enjoyable to talk to. Or maybe I just, I don't know, maybe I just don't, maybe I just am that way when you first meet me and I just don't realize it. No worries, all good, all good. But yeah. So I met them, and then I talked to them. They were fucking with me heavy, it seemed. And it was like, okay, I guess this is gonna be the friend group now. This is gonna be the people I just, like, hang out with. So, we go onto the boat, the old boaty boat, to get to the Bahamas. I sit with them, but then they move seats, and then the friend group of girls that was associated with them that I previously mentioned, because it was like a table on the boat. There were tables on the boat. It was a nice boat. Very inefficient, but actually being on the boat was nice. Prefer to enjoy college time. Can't do this shit no more. I'm too tired. Yeah, I took a pretty decently easy course load in high school. I think my college course load will be fine for me. There's one class that's online because I prefer in-person classes. I don't know. I just like my class to be physical location, and all of them are that except for one that I couldn't find any physical locations for, which is stupid. So. That's annoying, I hate that, but it's whatever. But anywho, so the boats, it was kind of like a restaurant table almost. It was like if airplane seats and restaurant table kind of mixed together. So friend group of boys that I'd met sat there, and I just kind of sat with them in the empty seat that was not spoken for. And then they moved to a different table. I don't entirely know why, I guess they just did. But the group of girls that I'd mentioned that was like friends with them, but it's still kind of separate friend groups, they then moved to where I was sitting. And they just, one of them I'd already kind of met, because one of them I already kind of met, because one of the dudes was just like, oh, this is my friend. I'm not gonna say, well, maybe I'll say her name. Do I say her name? Because I don't think I really. I'm gonna switch to BRB. No worries, all good. Yeah, but I'll just say her name because it doesn't really matter. So I just, she's like, oh, this is my friend Kate. And he's kind of like, he was just kind of like force introducing me to his friend Kate, and it was just like, you two gotta shake hands. You should shake hands. And I was just, initially our introduction was kind of awkward because I'm like, he's making me shake your hand. I'm sorry if you don't want this. It was just kind of awkward. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those awkward things where it's like, I'm actually introverted as fuck, man. I'm just playing along. But so I'd already kind of known her, and there was another, and then she was the only one that I'd like really met out of the friend group. I think there was another one named Winter who I didn't really meet that much until kind of like later on the trip. I mean, we like met on the boat, but we weren't sitting super next to each other. We just didn't really talk too much until I don't know. But He's a very W YouTuber. Thank you, thank you. I try. But yeah, so I had already kind of known Kate, and then she was part of like the friend group of girls. Then there's another girl named Sky who was a part of that friend group who was the first one to kind of like sit near me. So she was immediately like friendly and like introducing herself, you know, like, oh, like, what's up, blah blah blah, just sort of small talk. She was sat like, here, I'll visualize it for you. So we'll say these are the windows, and then seat. I was sitting in this seat, and then also this was like table. So I was sitting in this seat. Sky was the first one to arrive and sort of like plop down in this seat, started introducing herself to me, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. And then after she came and the rest of the friend group kind of came, I don't remember if they all came at once or if it was like certain order, but Kate came here and we sat next to each other, and then I think Winter sat here, and then there's the final person in the group is named Sam, and she either sat here. I think it might have been here. I forget where she sat. But that was the seating arrangement. I was the first one there, and they just kind of like plunked themselves down there. And you know, we all kind of like, we kind of just became friends. I'd also brought my Nintendo Switch, so that was also a good way to kind of like initiate getting to know people, because like when you've got the Nintendo Switch and you've got the Mario Kart on deck for like a boat ride that's supposed to be 3 hours, but realistically it's more, because boarding and unboarding takes fucking forever, because boat travel is so goddamn inefficient compared to airplanes. Like, what are you doing, boat line? Ouch. But yeah, it was. Yeah, so when you bring out a Nintendo Switch and it's like you got Mario Kart, it's like, oh, okay. So, you know, I played Mario Kart with some people. I played Mario Kart, I think first round was with Kate, and then I played a couple rounds with Sky, and then we all just kind of like, you know, chit-chat a little bit, just kind of tried to do our own thing. I don't know, it was interesting. But on that trip, on the boat ride, I think it was when Kate and I kind of became close. It's like, I don't know, she was just a very sweet person. Like, super easy to talk to, just super enjoyable to be around. I still have like all the friend group and stuff on Instagram. So like admittedly I don't really talk to them as that much. Sam I kind of talked to a little bit. Sky and Winter I don't think I've really talked to since then, because I don't really have anything interesting to say. But Sam kind of like interacts with like my Instagram stories and stuff. So we talk a little bit, and then Kate and I also talk a little bit. But yeah, Kate and I kind of became close, and she sort of became like the vacation bestie slash girl. Admittedly, I kind of have a huge crush on. I don't think anything will come of it. I mean, if somehow it does, I mean, we're going to different colleges, so it's not like it's gonna last long. So it's kind of a sucky situation, because it's like this is a really sweet, really fun girl that I like quite a lot, and just I don't know, it's kind of doomed. Wowie, yeah. Yeah, I haven't really crushed on anyone like this for like a year. Because last year there was a girl in my class that was also just really nice, really sweet. I asked if she wanted to hang out over the summer. She said, I'm busy, but I have your contact info, so I'll reach out. She never did. I haven't talked to her since, but that's a different person. That was the last person I had like a fairly large crush on. It's always like late school year, early summers that these things happen. But yeah. So I met Kate. I kind of just like, I don't want to say clung to her for the entire trip, because that sounds like really shit. Like, she was just kind of like the vacation bestie. She was just like the person I sort of naturally gravitated towards trying to spend time with. Is it gonna be night or not? Nope, it's just gonna be rainy. But yeah, that also kind of started on that boat because we were sat next to each other, and like she's just like a sweet person. Just, I don't know, the way she just interacts with me, it just feels different, and I miss it quite a lot. Also, I never reignited my nether portal. Let's fix that. But yeah, that trip was this week that just happened was my college orientation for like 4 days. And then right before that was this trip that I'm talking about now. So it's still pretty fresh. I still quite miss her. I did ask, because this is also really funny to me. She really likes BMW convertibles. I don't know why, she just likes BMW convertibles. And anyone who's familiar with the rmbu lore knows that I have a 2004 convertible BMW 325 Ci. So, I did ask yesterday while I was flying it. Well, not while I was flying in, but like while I was laid over at an airport, I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna ask if she wants to go for a drive. And it's just kind of confusing because it sounds like she does want to go, but she's like also busy because she has like a job and she's going for her college orientation on Tuesday. So I told her like, hey, if any openings come up, like feel free to hit me up. And she said she will. Will she actually? I don't know. Usually when people do that, that's kind of, in my experience, that's code for I probably never will. That's code for you ain't gonna hear from me again. So, will she actually reach out? Who knows? I hope so, because even if nothing ever does happen, I just want to spend time with her. I just want to enjoy moments with her. I am prepared for it to be like goodbye forever. I admittedly cried a little bit about that on the boat ride back. I don't know if any of the group noticed it. No one said anything about it, but like, I'd been kind of like stealthily crying on the boat ride back because I missed her. Or, I mean, I didn't miss her yet because I was still on the boat ride, but I was kind of prepared for it to be like, knowing how things go for me, probably never gonna see you again, and that is just fucking sad. That, I don't think I've ever like, I don't know that I've ever like cried over a girl before, so congratulations, Kate, first girl I've ever cried over. I miss her. But anyway, this is getting depressing. I just needed to let those thoughts out because I haven't said those things to anyone yet. So someone had to hear it. Anyway, yeah, so I had a great time, like, oh, that was a whole side thing. So I was initially talking about my group and how I'd, like, met the group, and they're all people, because, like, they're all really nice, they're very social people. So I think it's possible that, like, the reason people were being so nice, like, random people that I never met were being so nice to me on the trip, is maybe my, like, friends were sort of hyping me up a little bit. Because also, anytime, like, at the beginning of the trip, anytime, like, another friend of Kate's would come up, she'd be like, oh, let me introduce you to my friend rmbu, except my real name, but, so yeah, I think my group mates were kind of, like, I only ever cried over one, it was a month ago, I don't want to get into detail, anywho. Yeah, I feel ya. It sucks, we'll eventually find people who will get to spend time with, but probably won't be her. Probably our final goodbyes on the boat. Also, I didn't really get to do proper goodbyes on the boat, which kind of sucks because I really did want to do proper goodbyes on the boat. But yeah, my guess is maybe my like friend group was kind of like hyping me up a little bit behind the scenes, like talking behind my back, but in a good way. Like, oh yeah, he's chill as fuck. Because they were all really nice to me, and I didn't. From my perception, we did all really enjoy our time together. Yeah, I feel ya. Shit happens. I still don't want to say it's like my first heartbreak, so I feel like heartbreak when someone, like, heartbreak over someone that probably didn't want you. Maybe did, I don't know. I also, again, she's a really nice person, but I can't tell if, like, when she's, like, also the way she, like, I don't know, the way we interact and the way she just kind of, like, looks at me sometimes, and we just, like, give each other soft smiles and just sort of look at each other. I don't know if that actually means anything to her, or if it's just, she's just a really nice person. So she just naturally has that kind of, like, warmth about her. Rest her soul. But yeah. So I don't want to call it my first heartbreak, but yeah. Or I guess not my first real heartbreak. It still does feel a little bit like a heartbreak, but like not my first like real big one. Like a little mini one. Anyway, enough. But yeah, so she was kind of like main friend, and then her friend group, which was like the girls that I'd mentioned, were also kind of my friends. Also, I don't think I'm gonna like directly ever tell Kate how I feel, because I just want her to be able to enjoy the memories of the times we did have together. I feel like if she wants to know, she probably knows if she wants to. Be happy it's a mini one while heartbreak isn't fun. Yeah, someday it'll be a real big one, but I don't think I can call this one that, because we were never really together to begin with. So yeah, it's just a little mini one. That looks like all for bone meal. So maybe that's how all the people met me, because the people I met like just liked me and were like hyping me up and were like, so the people who recognize me were like, oh yeah, that's the rmbu I heard about from whoever the hell it would be. Yeah, it was cool. That was all cool. It was a lot of just, I don't know, it just was nice, just everyone being like really nice to me, and just everyone being like, hell yeah, we fuck with this guy. We've decided that this guy we all just want to be friends with. Someone even like, because also in the Bahamas you're allowed to drink at 18, so people were drinking, so I think a dude who was maybe a little drunk came up to me and was like, yo, you're like a legend on this trip, and I'm just like, I mean, thanks, I'll take it, but like, the only cool thing I've done this trip is wear a dress one time. But people were like treating me like that even before I'd worn the dress, so like, I don't know. Oh, I guess there was also a karaoke thing. I performed Sleep Paralysis Demon by Ethan Bortnick at karaoke thing. I think I bombed it, but apparently I'm the only one who seems to think that. I don't know. But hey, it's whatever. So yeah, the people on that trip really just made it all worth it. Super grateful for all the time that I got to spend with Kate and also the other people. Pretty much every other aspect of the trip kind of sucks ass. But, oh, also Kate and I danced a little bit to there was one bit where it was like one of the nights where it's basically just clubbing, and the DJ, I don't know how to feel about that DJ. He low-key, like, sometimes there were things where he really made it work, but most of the time it was kind of just straight ass. Like, here, I'll get into the main thing first and then I'll go into the mini rant. But for one of like the last songs he had played for the night was Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, which that is like the one example of him actually being a good DJ, because some fucking how. Oh yo, Clown Girl, I know you in real life. I haven't spoken to that group chat in a hot minute. It's going good. I'm telling stories about a trip, or well, 2 trips, because there were, and one of them wasn't super interesting. It was just college orientation. One of which was like a senior trip. It was interesting. It was cool. Ooh, how fun it was. But basically, summarize it up. The people were like really awesome at that trip. Yeah, I haven't spoken to that group chat in a hot minute. I've been high-key neglecting that group chat, and I feel bad. For those who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Clown Girl is an IRL friend. I know where you're going. I'll DM the group chat. I don't know if I want to dox that information on live stream, but yeah, basically summarize summarize everything I've said before for Muhammad's trip. And I guess you could also watch the VOD if you really wanted to. It's mostly just me rambling, but basically summary, went on a trip, like a senior trippy thing organized through some company. It was to the Bahamas. It was pretty cool. Pretty much every aspect of the trip kind of sucked ass, but the people were like so awesome and so unbelievably kind and just really nice. And also everyone just like wanted to talk to me. Just like people would like constantly just be coming up and being like, yeah, like someone even said someone even kind of drunkenly came up and was like, yo, People are saying you've been a legend on the trip, and the only interesting thing I've done was wear a dress on like the second to last day, but people were being nice to me before that, so it's like really fun, so understandable. I mean, I guess, but like people that had never interacted with me, I guess just like heard about me, probably from like my friends or whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But people just fucked with me, and it was kind of it was really awesome to just like, especially when you've kind of just been like, I don't know, just sort of really introverted and just kind of whatever. It was like, oh, you know what it was like Greg Simulator. It was like I was the Greg of this trip. That doesn't mean anything to the rest of my chat. It's an inside joke. But like, I was Greg without even trying to be Greg. That is the best way that is like the perfect way I can describe it. Greg minus getting girls. Greg minus having a girlfriend, although I did meet a girl. I don't know if she actually likes me. It kind of felt like we had something special. I don't know for sure though. It was kind of just like the way she interacted with me and just the way she looked at me sometimes. And like we just kind of like looked at the way we kind of looked into each other's eyes and smiled at each other. But also she's just like a really sweet person in general. So I don't know how much of that was actually special or how much of that was just she's just nice to me. So I kind of might see is that cool. I wish I met girls real. You will trust the process. I guess I kind of give off cool single uncle energy. It's like, I'm probably like the uncle who's a little bit weird, but like cool, so no one questions it. But yeah, I would be the uncle because I ain't having kids. I'd like to meet someone to get married with. Like, I don't know, I'm not someone who's like, need to get married. I would just like to meet someone that I love enough and that I want to spend the rest of my life with and get married, but I don't want to like get married for the sake of married, you know? I want to be in love, and if that means marriage, then hell yeah. If it doesn't mean marriage, then also hell yeah. I just want to be able to... This is off topic. But anyway, yeah, Kate and I had Kate was the name of the girl. Kate and I had like danced to Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Was You. And it was really fun. Because we were just like dancing together. And then at one point she just like grabbed my hands and we just kind of like, we're just like dancing, and then we did like the twirly thing where it's like you twirl someone, she just initiated that, I twirled her. It was cool. It was fun. I liked that. Also, I didn't tell you and Greg because the group chat died. Everybody's gender fluid now. Oh shit, hell yeah. I'm assuming what are the current pronouns? What are the pronouns you are into at this moment in time? All pronouns. Okay, so you just like me for real. We just like that. Except I don't know if I'd say more non-binary than gender fluid. But yeah, we like that. We built like that. Alrighty, so. But anyway, oh yeah, time for the mini rant about the DJ. It was interesting because I feel like he was good at like being sort of a hype person, and I feel like he could be really good if he wanted to, but most of the time it was just like most of the time it was just like either the most mid songs you've ever heard, where it's like pretty much the entirety of the beat is just like, but like with more bass, like just no intricacy to the beat whatsoever, which is kind of hard to dance to. You can't really dance to that if it's just like a singular rhythm with like two instruments, with like pretty much just like a drum beat and a bass beat. Like it's just no intricacy. And also sometimes he would do songs that did not need to be remixed, that were like already perfect as is. Like for example, I think one of them was like Dance Till You're Dead. That one, great song already for like just dancing at the club. That one, like perfect vibe. You can just have a whole lot of fucking fun to that song. Like he would remix it and kind of give it the treatment that I just talked about, where it's like no musical interest. It's like, why? That song's perfect as is for this like clubby type of environment. You don't need to do anything to it. Sounds like Prom, all the good songs were cut off. Also that he would do like, and then also he would play like the beat of one song. I think one thing he had did was he had like done the beat of Dance to Your Dead, but then the vocals were from, I think, Timber by Kesha, which, like, Timber is also kind of fun for a clubby type of environment. Just play the two songs unmolested, just as is, but no, you have to combine them. It's like, no, just, like, it's also, like, Dance to Your Dead was not meant to have Kesha over it. It was meant to have Dance to Your Dead vocals over it. Yeah, it was just weird shit like that. It was either, like, shit like that, or just unnecessarily remixing songs that shouldn't be remixed to begin with because they're already perfect as is, and making the remixes significantly worse. And just, or just, yeah, that, like, cutting off this, like, you would play, like, playing sort of, like, the intro to a song, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be good because it's like a good song, and it's just like, nope, different, significantly worse song now, fuck you. But yeah, like, it was just weird shit like that. But then at the end, he played All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey, which thankfully he didn't mess with that song. He just kind of let that song play raw in his entirety, and somehow that fucking worked. It was June, we were doing Mariah Carey, and somehow that worked. It shouldn't have worked. Christmas songs in June, it doesn't make any kind of sense on paper, but again, it's a song where the vibe is good, so if you ignore the fact that it's a Christmas song in June in the Bahamas, the vibe itself, because he didn't do any weird remixing shit to it, is a vibey song that you can just have fun and dance to with your friends. And I did dance to it with my friends. That's the song where Kate and I danced, and we just, like, had a good old time. DJs, I don't know. I have opinions about that. But yeah, the most interesting part of this story comes when we get home. And clown gender fluid individual, you probably, I don't know how well the name suits you. I'm just gonna go with clown girl because that's your online name. DJs have gotten worse. It feels like, yeah, like, I don't know, they just, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's all DJs. I don't really have any DJing experience. I just know this specific one was just kind of ass. No offense to whatever the hell his name was, but, like, he just thought he was cooking. He wasn't cooking. It's like you try to fucking make a gourmet treatment to, like, Lunchables, and then you just fuck it up and then ruins it. It's like, you don't need to do that. Lunchables they're already cooked. They already did the cooking for you. You just gotta eat them. But no, he tried to put some weird spices on that shit that just didn't work. That's the best analogy. I keep getting distracted by my DJ rant. I need to be getting grass. But yeah, so I just saw an Axel commit suicide or what? Oh, that sucks. Wait, now this is the interesting part of the story. This is the most interesting thing that happened. So now, just to set the scene, like, we arrived back home on a boat, and also, actually, even further backstory, to get to the port, I had to drive like 4 hours south, and I didn't actually have to drive. It turns out the trip had organized buses that were going to take us there. I did not know that, so I drove, but I'm kind of glad I did, because apparently the buses sucked ass, and everyone tells me I saw a DJ using non-copyright music. Oh boy, okay, maybe all DJs are getting worse, 'cause non-copyright music, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so, set the scene. I didn't realize there were buses, so I had driven. But I was, like, documenting my road trip on the Instagram story. Wasn't really anything interesting, it was just, like, because, you know, y'all know me, I love my car. And it was just, like, it's a really great road trip car, so it's just, like, praising the car. And after I got to where, because I got there the night before, we had to board the boat at, like, 6 in the morning. And, like, no, I'm not driving at, like, 2 in the morning to get there. So my mom has a friend in Fort Lauderdale. I stayed at their house the night before we boarded, and the night I got back. because I don't want to drive at some obscene hour, because, you know, driving while sleepy, not great. So, they also had 3 dogs, so I got to meet 3 dogs. I absolutely love them. So yeah, apparently I made the right choice, because the buses sucked. But yeah, driving was involved. I would say it was weird, but this was But yeah, so I'll get the point. Driving was involved. I had to like drive to and from my house. It was a long road trip. So my car will be very relevant. That's going to be the whole point of the story. So when I had driven there, I'd woken up at like 4 a.m. I got on the road at like 5 something, because it's an hour drive down to the port. Thankfully the port is even further south, so it's not like I had to drive. I didn't have to like drive 5 hours south and then drive an hour north to get to the port. It was like, no, I just drive 4 hours south, crash at mom's friend's place with the dogs, and then drive another hour south. But yeah. So I'd woken up at like 4 a.m. Probably didn't sleep the longest that night. I don't know, I think I got some really stupidly low amount of sleep. But so I was like already a little bit tired, and I didn't know where parking was, because this was not a port I had ever been to before. So I'd driven there. It's like around 6-ish in the morning. I'm tired, I don't know what's happening, I've never been to this port, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I see what looks like parallel parking spots, because, you know, there's a bunch of cars parked there. I don't see any people inside the cars. So I'm like, oh, this is probably where I'm supposed to park. So I park in those parallel parking spots, which, by the way, I taught myself parallel parking in that moment. I'd never done it before, but I kind of know car physics, so my car's pretty small and easy to maneuver, so I was like, how hard can it be? So I just taught myself parallel parking. I'm not gonna pretend like it was a perfect parallel parking job, but for the first time, and also like a really tight, it was a tight ass squeeze. There was not much wiggle room to move around. So for my very first ever parallel parking job that I had ever done, and also for the fact that it was a tight squeeze, it was a really good parallel parking job, and I'm kind of I feel like that's a flex that I fucking taught myself how to do that shit. But anyway, that's not super relevant. I mean, kind of is. But I'd parked in what I thought was the parking spots, because I didn't know where the parking garage was. It wasn't very clearly marked. I just took myself. I'd be scared to parallel park. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super looking forward to it, but like I said, my car's size and maneuverability and my knowledge of car physics, all that's kind of on my side, and I thought that's where I had to park, so it's kind of like, well, we're just gonna fucking have to learn how to do it and hope it doesn't take 20 years. And it actually was pretty quick, so yeah, I taught myself to parallel park. I parked where I thought I had to park, because the parking garages were not labeled very clearly. I'd never been to this port before. I just took myself to where Google Maps said port 21 was, because that's where I needed to be, and I parked in front of it. So I parked there, and it didn't look like the park. It kind of looked like, this looks like it could be a loading area, but I don't know where else to park, so I'm just gonna park here and pray that my car doesn't get towed, because I don't really have that much time to look for parking. Foreshadowing. You can kind of guess where this trip is going, or where this story is going, but there's more chaotic details to it. So, you know, fast forward, I do all my trip. So it's the boat ride home, and on the boat ride home, I'd mentioned this earlier in the stream, Connor wasn't here for it, but on the boat ride home, I was already kind of crying a little bit, because knowing how things generally go with me, these really wonderful people that I had met, they're not gonna they probably aren't ever gonna reach out to me, and I'm probably not gonna ever have anything to I'm not gonna have a good opener to reach out with them. So I figured, knowing how things generally go for me, this is probably gonna be final goodbye, and that's fucking hard. I'd only known these people for a week, but they were really fucking nice. It was mainly Kate that I was crying over, because as I'd mentioned, I really liked her. I don't know. It was just, she was just special in ways that I haven't felt about anyone in quite a while, even though I'd only known her for a week. Yeah, sad boy hours. Still kind of processing that. I did ask her though, because Clone Girl, I told this to stream already, but basically she likes BMW convertibles, which, so I was able to just ask like, hey, I mean, as you know, I drive a BMW convertible. I know you like BMW convertibles, so you want to go in a ride in my car sometime? And she was like, oh yeah, I mean, she said she has like work. She said she has work and she's going for orientation on Tuesday, but she also said she'd like to, and she'll let me know if any openings in her schedule open up, which, if history is repeating itself, that means she ain't gonna reach out. Oh my god, an opening. Yeah, no, in my experience, that's usually people's way of, that's usually them, like, trying to, like, let me down gently and being like, oh yeah, I'll reach out to you at some point, and then they just don't. I don't know, maybe she's different, maybe, who knows? Maybe she's being for real. Who knows? I am kind of fully prepared for, I'm prepared to just not hear anything from her again. Really depends on the person. Yeah, like, she doesn't seem like the type of person who would do that to me, but I don't know. That's how it's always gone in the past for me, so I'm kind of just assuming that's how it's gonna be. So, but yeah, so, anyway, I hadn't realized I could just ask her that. I hadn't realized that I would actually have that to use as, like, an opener to maybe hang out again. So, on the boat, I was like, I'm never gonna see this girl again, because we're going to different colleges, too, so it's like, even if we were to somehow see each other again, probably not gonna be anything, nothing's really gonna come out of it, which sucks. So I was like stealthily kind of crying on the boat. See, you can see where my headspace is at. And then I remember, like, I'd parked my car in what I'm pretty sure was a loading bay, and it is likely that I'm not gonna see my shit when I get back there. So I like say goodbye to all my friends. It wasn't really a proper goodbye. I'm kind of sad. I'd already kind of cried out all my tears, but if I hadn't already done that, I would be crying, because I fucking miss this people. I just have to wait and see what happens. Probably nothing. I'm prepared for nothing, but who knows? I'm a lawnmower. Also, I remembered I was actually considering keeping this grass. Oh well. Yeah, for what I'm going for. Keeping it looking somewhat manicured is probably gonna be good. So yeah, why am I shaking so much? What happened to your car though? Oh yeah, so, as I had mentioned, I had parked it in what looked like what was apparently like some sort of loading zone. Not somewhere where you're actually supposed to park. My tired and kind of in a hurry and flustered 6 a.m. self thought it was a parking area. It was not. So I went to where my car was, where I went to where my car was supposed to be, and it was not there. This was not surprising to me. I was kind of like, the odds were pretty high that this was gonna happen. So I was like, ah shit, I've been towed. Fuck. But the problem is, I didn't know where towed cars go. They don't really tell you that. They don't even really tell you that it's not. They don't even tell you that that's actually a loading zone, that that's not a parking zone. That port, very terrible about making shit clear. Which also, that's another thing. They should tell you where your car is going to be towed to. They should, like, have some sort of, they should have, I am a believer that a good practice for them to have would have been to put a sign here that says, hey, this ain't a parking zone. If you park here, you're gonna be towed to this location, so you know where to find your car. And also you know to not park it there. I mean, in retrospect, it was pretty obvious it was a loading zone. I don't know. I saw cars that were empty and that looked like they were parked. I thought, oh, this is parking, maybe. And I was too in a rush to try and find where a parking garage was. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm parking here. This is fine. It was not fine. But now I'm in a dilemma. I don't have my car or a car. The place where I'm staying, my mom's friend's house that I'm also supposed to stay at that night, that's like an hour away. So I, like, without my car, I can't just, like, leave and pick up my car I can't just, like, get an Uber to my place where I'm staying and pick up my car in the morning. Like, no, I need this car now. So, I don't know where it is, so I just start wandering around, just kind of cursing, because, which can't you call local companies if they have your car? Well, I don't know what local companies there even are. And also, like, I was, like, fresh out of a nice cry sesh. I was maybe a little tired because it was kind of late, and I'm just a little bit flustered and stressed by the whole situation. So, that doesn't really come into my mind. My first thought that comes into my mind is, okay, I need to find some sort of, like, staff, some sort of security person, just someone who could know the answer to my question, or someone that could find someone who does know the answer to my question. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just wandering around, just kind of cursing like, fuck! Because, you know, I mean, how else would you react if your car is towed and is God knows where? So, I just kind of wander around. I didn't have to wander too far. I was able to find, like, a security tent. So I'm like, hey, any of you guys know my car has almost certainly been towed. I mean, maybe stolen, but, like, almost definitely towed. And it was towed, thank God. But don't, like, hey, my crying, obviously, I'd be crying too, but I'd already cried out all my tears on the boat. But, so, like, there just wasn't any tears left to cry. But, yeah, so I told security, like, hey, I'm pretty sure my car's towed. I need to show you guys know where it's been towed to so I can get it back, because I kind of absolutely really need it right now. So, I showed the guy where I had parked, and he's like, yeah, you definitely, the security guy asked me to take him to where my car was parked, and he's like, yeah, you've almost certainly gotten towed. I'm like, yeah, in my head, I'm like, yeah, no shit, I know that. I know it's been towed, I just need to know where, so I can go there and get it. But, yeah, he calls in one of his police friends, I give him the details about, like, what type of car, give him the license plate, he does his connections, and he tells me exactly where it's been towed to, and he gives me the address, which is good. So, shout out to the police guy. I ask if he can give me a ride to that place, because I don't know where it is, and I have no mode of transportation, because, you know, my car was towed. He's like, he can't for whatever reason, doesn't tell me why, he just can't. He just tells me to get an Uber. So, you know, I have to download Uber, I have to create an Uber account, which, not the biggest deal, but, like, at that point, it's like, I don't want to do these extra things. I just want my car, man. I'm missing my friends. I'm fucking in my feelings, because I'm probably never going to see this girl that I really like again. The interesting part is that there were no visible, no parking, or tow zone signs. Yeah, there were no visible ones. When I was back there with the security guard, I looked to see, like, when I was, like, back there looking, I looked to see, like, am I just blind? Am I really just stupid? And it's like, okay, no, there's no signage here. And so, like, there was no warning that my car was going to be towed. Which, I mean, in hindsight, common sense is probably a good enough warning for that, but, like, shut up. So, yeah, that... Fuck, where was I? So, yeah. Like, so yeah, downloading Uber and creating an Uber account, not a big deal, but, like, it's still annoying because I'm already in my feels about I'm gonna miss my friends, and, like, I met this really special girl that I'm probably never gonna see again. And even if I do, nothing's gonna come of it. So, like, just, you know, the emotions are just emotioning. And any extra complication or step is just, like, massively stupid and annoying. So, yeah. That's where my headspace is at. So, I download Uber. Shout out to Johnny the Uber, by the way. Chillest fucking dude. He was available at, like, 11 at night, and by the time I was like at the tow yard, it was midnight. So he was like there at midnight, and he also, like, He also, once I dropped off, he like stayed behind a little bit. Thank you for driving through the clutch. Yeah, shout out to Johnny. I never gave him a rating because at that point, like, again, like, I do not want to do extra things. I just want to get in my car, go home, and if any more tears enter my system, just immediately eject them. So I never gave him a rating, but he was chill as fuck. He got me there, and he even stayed for a little bit to make sure, like, that everything was gonna be fine, and that all my shit would be sorted. So, like, fucking shout out to this man. Shout out to Johnny. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, as all this was happening, as I, like, when I had called the Uber, my battery was on, like, 5%, and I was watching it go down, like, 5, 4, 3. I think it was, like, 3 or 2% by the time Johnny had arrived. Which is kind of annoying. So, by the time, he also didn't have any, like, plugs in his car that I could find. Nor did I really care enough to look. I didn't want to, like, inconvenience him. I just wanted to, like, you know, sit in this car and just fucking think things through. And also a thought I had in my head was, like, I'm going into this at, like, by the time I get there, it's, like, midnight. This is, the towing thing is a business at the end of the day. You know what businesses like to have? Hours of operation. So that's a thought that creeps into my head, like, oh god, oh fuck. I'm going to be strolling in here at an unreasonable hour, and I have nowhere to go. So, if they are not open, and if they can't give me my car, I have nowhere to go. I don't have somewhere to sleep. I have nothing. So that's a thought that pops into the back of my head, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, please, for the love of all things holy, just let them be open or something. And they were open, kind of. I'll explain that. I did end up getting my car back. Everything's fine. But yeah, by the time I get there, my phone battery is, like, just dead. I have 0 phone battery, which will be relevant, will be relevant for this story. But yeah, when I get there, so I get there, I got the people, I'm like sorting it out with all them. By the time, so when I get there, he's like, so the towing guy is like, so this is out of our hours of operation, and I'm like, fuck. Also, yeah, late night creep terrors off. Yeah, the vibes were definitely kind of creepy and weird, but like at this point, that's just not fucking on my mind. I'm more worried about whether or not I'm gonna be homeless for a night. That's all. That's where I'm focused. Yeah, the towing yard was creepy, kind of, because they also had really tinted windows into the office. So I was just like at this window thing, where just like some voice, which sounded a little bit disgruntled, because I'm coming in here with all my bullshit at like midnight, having just the roughest of nights, very clearly. So yeah, I fucking, what am I trying to say? So, oh yeah, so he was like, so this is outside of our normal hours of operation. Hold on, it's not in my nose. And I'm like, oh god, oh fuck, I'm just going to be homeless, aren't I? Holy shit, everything's crashing down. And then, but then, I guess, I don't know if maybe I missed it, or just wasn't good at communicating. I think we were both not great at communicating, but we kind of figured it out. But I eventually learned that they would still give me my car. I just had to pay an extra $100 because I was coming in at an unreasonable hour, which sucks. But at this point, like, I don't care at this point. I just want things to go right. I just want my car back. I just need a win. I'll pay an extra fucking $100 at this point. I just want my car. Which honestly, that's actually a pretty good business. It's a good business practice. Just upcharge, because I mean, if you're coming in at 1 a.m., that's because you need your car and you've got no other options. So yeah, you really could easily just milk every penny out of me, because you know that I'm not gonna fucking complain. I'm just gonna take it. I'm not gonna question it. And I'm not gonna care, because I just want my car. That's all that's on my mind. So, that's all good. The only problem is, in total, it costs like $400, which I do have that, because it was just graduation, and a lot of people give you money. So I had like, probably about $1,000 in my account in total, but a lot of it's in savings. And the amount that is in my checking account is not $400, but so I have to go on my phone and just, transfer those funds. But hey, remember when I said my phone was dead? Yeah, my phone was like dead. My shit was fucking knocked out. Now I had my charger on me, because I knew I was gonna, because I have charging ports in my car, and I knew I was gonna need that, and also phone chargers, I had all my luggage with me, so of course I fucking had my phone charger. So that's all fine, I have a charger, so I have to they don't have like an outside outlet, so I'm just like, so they're like, hey, if you could just like send the cord through. And at first they were like, oh no, don't send the charging brick, we just need the cord. And then they realized that it's the shitty area where everything's USB-C. So they're like, okay, we actually do need the brick. Because I can't fucking charge your shit with this USB-C. And then I made a joke of like, yeah, sorry about that, technology. It's just like that because technology companies are stupid. And the guy laughed at my little joke. I don't know, just ease the tension. And the whole time, because the phone takes a second to charge, and also even once it does get enough power to power on, I still have to wait, because it's not usable yet. I still have to wait for it to have enough power to be able to like sustain itself while it's plugged into the charger. And I realized that the hard way when after I turn on my phone twice, it just immediately shuts down and dies again because it's running on fucking fumes. So the whole time I'm just profusely apologizing. Again, probably wasn't the biggest deal at the time, but in my head, my emotionally charged, everything is just going wrong head, I was like, oh god, I'm holding these people up. Everything's just going wrong. I'm probably being fucking annoying as hell to these people. So the whole time I'm just like profusely apologizing, just kind of like half crying, half not, because I don't have any tears. Like, there just are no tears left in my system to cry at this point, but I'm still kind of like crying a little bit, like my voice is doing the cry thing. Also, and I think it was like $416 I had to pay, and the guy was initially like, and also there's gonna be a 3% upcharge on top of that. I don't really know what that means or why, but yeah, I guess that's a thing that exists. And again, at this point, I'll pay whatever. I probably have it. Just fucking please give me my car. So yeah, eventually I finally get my funds transferred. I finally get all my shit together. And also another part that was stressful was he said I needed some sort of like proof of ownership of that it was my vehicle, which like the examples he gave was like registration, which I don't have my vehicle registration on me. That's in my vehicle. That's where I keep my vehicle registration, and I don't have access to my vehicle, and that's why I'm here. But I had the keys to my car on me because I took those with me. Because why the fuck would I leave those? So the car keys were proof enough of ownership, because it's like, hey, if you've got the keys to make this car run, then yeah, you can probably have it. You're probably not stealing it. I'm probably not gonna get sued. So he did let me have my car. That was also a thing that was scary. But yeah, eventually, after everything was said and done, I finally got my car back. And also he was like, hey, I'm not gonna charge you that 3%. We're just not gonna do that if that's... And I was like I was fine to pay it, because I just, at this point, all I cared about was just getting my car back. So like, I was fine to pay it, but like, hey, less money that I have to pay, like, thank fucking god. And also, it's just nice. It just feels good to have someone do something like that for you and just show that, like, hey, I can see you're going through a rough time. Here's, like, a gesture of caring. Like, that shit just... It meant a lot. Probably because I was just, again, emotionally charged as hell. But it meant a lot. Then I had my car back. I think I gave my car a little hug when I had it back, which probably was cringe as fuck. But again, as I've stated multiple times, everything was just going wrong. I was a fucking emotional wreck. This was like the one thing that was finally going... Things were finally starting to go in my favor. So then after that, took my car to a gas station, because it was on like a quarter tank, because I'd used 3/4 of my tank getting there when I was starting the drive, because that's how gas works. So I went to sketchy gas station. I bought myself a water there, because I was also thirsty. Buy myself a gas station, water, and then I had to like, you know, I had to take my anxiety medication because I hadn't done that yet, because I was gonna eat dinner on the boat because the boat ride was during my evening, but I didn't have access to my suitcase on my boat, and my anxiety meds were in my suitcase. So yeah, after all of this, I had to take my medication, so I had to like go into my suitcase in the back parking lot of this sketchy ass gas station, take my anxiety pill, which also in hindsight, probably not a smart move, because if a law enforcement official sees just a kid in the back of a gas station parking lot eating a pill of some sort with a suitcase open, that probably looked sketchy. Thankfully, no one saw, everything was fine, it was chill. I took my medication, organized my luggage, threw away all my garbage because I didn't know where the trash can was on my boat, so I still had like my garbage from dinner in my lunchbox. So I just got my shit together at the gas station, and then finally I was able to just GPS to the place I was staying for the night, and then just, by the time I made it home it was like 1 something a.m. And then I just did an Instagram story where I pretty much just told this whole story, but in a more concise manner, because I need to fucking process all those thoughts. And then I just headed home. I went there, I slept, I ate my breakfast, and then I just finally headed home. Drive home, I saw a Ferrari on the drive home, that was pretty cool, but nothing bad happened on the drive home. Drive home, everything was fine, thank fucking God, really needed that, everything was fine. Drive home I was also, like, more sad. Drive home I was more sad about, like, not seeing Kate, because I'm exhausted just from listening to the story. Yeah, imagine me dealing with all of this at an unreasonable hour in the night. So fun. But yeah, the one good thing about all this, aside from the fact that it's kind of a cool story, is the fact that in being fucking stressed and freaked out and panicked, it was a good distraction from being sad about Kate. On the drive home, I was alone with no stress, just an open-ish highway, my music, and my thoughts. So yeah, drive home was kind of sad. I was pretty sad on the drive home. Not gonna lie. I'm still a little sad. Like, I have few reasons to believe that she actually, like, we were, like, friends. I do think she values me as, like, a friend. I don't think anything, probably, I'm glad you're home safe. Yeah, that was all, like, less than 2 weeks ago, but still, I was at my school orientation for 4 days. Nothing real interesting happened there. I picked out my classes, and I got my student ID, so I am officially a college student now. I don't actually start any of my classes or move there until August, but yeah, aside from that, I'm as official as you can get. Which is pretty awesome. It's kind of crazy. The beds suck. Yeah, they're I didn't think to test the bed in the showroom at mine. It's fine, I can just, like, buy a new mattress. Yeah, so now, yeah, as I was saying, still a little bit sad about Kate. Who knows, maybe I won't have to be, maybe she will actually find an opening in her schedule. Maybe she wasn't lying when she said she'll tell me, 'cause she did say she'll tell me. But that has been a lie in the past. Maybe it won't be, maybe it won't be. Who knows? Time will tell. Just gonna have to, grieve that L. Yeah, we have grass now. I'm going to UNF, by the way, so if you're ever in Jacksonville, I'd be here. I do remember that, yeah. Yeah, when I'm visiting for the holidays. Because I will do, like, short holiday visits. I don't know. My parents are saying they're not going to let me, like, they're gonna like close the dorms down during some holidays. Which I'd like it if that would not be true, because I'd kind of like to not be kicked out of my place of living. It's like, I don't know, like during summer break, like I don't think I want to do summer classes. But also, like I do want, well, if for summer break, because that's gonna be like however many months. If they're not gonna let me live in a dorm during summer break, I'm getting a fucking job and just getting an apartment at that point. Cause like, don't get me wrong, love my parents, love my family, very much ready to not live with them anymore, and very much during college we'll get all the ladies real. Feels like a 10-hour drive from where, it's a 10-hour drive from where I'm at to my college too. That'll be a road trip. But like, summer break, like I am not fucking, like, don't get me wrong, I love my family, but I'm very much ready to not live with them anymore. Not really for any of their fault, it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of nice to live. It'd be kind of nice to live to just downsize to only having one roommate. If you do summer, you just have to move to a different dorm depending on the college. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll find some way to stay, because I am not going back. Like, I'm not going from living the independent college lifestyle to moving back in with my parents and basically regressing. Not doing it. Not willingly doing it. Not happening. No offense to my family, I love you all, but I'm ready to not live with 3 different people, and I'm ready for my bedroom to not be right in the corner of, like, I'm also ready to have a bedroom that is not directly in the only pathway to my sister's bedroom and my dad's office, because what that means is that there's a bunch of people that are just near my door, constantly going by. So yeah. People who design and build houses, I mean, I guess if you're like a parent to like a newborn, it's probably good to like a couple newborns. Probably good to have their bedrooms be in close proximity. But yeah, for future people building homes, don't build stop building all the bedrooms on top of each other. Give them some space and don't make it so you have to go near one to access the other. Because these walls are not thin enough for that, and yeah. That leads to one person hearing footsteps and voices all of the goddamn time. Ready to... Oh, sophomore year of HS, I'm already looking. You got UCF or Valencia in mind. I don't know which one I want. Never been to Valencia. UCF was my favorite of the Florida colleges. Not saying much because I only toured NF, CF, and SF. NF, I didn't like it at all, really. SF, I also didn't really like it at all. UCF, it's like, UCF, if I needed to, I'd be willing to settle for that. But I don't need to settle for it. So I got into my first choice, my second choice, and my third choice. And maybe others, I don't know. I've kind of stopped keeping track. I don't even know if they've sent me anything. I don't even know if the other colleges have sent me anything. But like, I don't know, I've got a backup for my backup, and I don't even need to use those, because I'm officially registered in the place where I actually want to go. UF rejected everyone this year, bro. Yeah. UF, I didn't even bother touring because it seemed like it was too annoying to get into, and it just seemed like, I don't know if pretentious, but like, you know, it just seemed like, what am I doing in college? Yay. Everyone was heartbroken. Yeah, I don't want to be in an environment that's like super insanely hard to get into and prestigious, and like everyone around is just like super smart, and like, no, I want to be in a place where I don't want to be somewhere where the attitude is like, it's a privilege that we're allowing you to be here. Like, my next colleges are all like that to an extent because they have to accept you, but like, the college I'm going to, they very clearly like want people there. They like want to help, and they want you to be there. UF is pretentious. Yeah, like, I don't want to be somewhere where I'm just there to boost your ego, be a number. I want to be there because you, like, I want to be somewhere where you guys actually want me. Like, I ain't doing none of this one-sided relationship bullshit. Like, trust me, I've been to middle school. I've been friends with people who I thought it was like a two-way, the friendship was two-way, but it was just one way the entire time. They were just like kind of, yeah. I don't like that. Yeah, UNF was the first one I got an acceptance from because they had whatever their like speedy uppy thing for really good to its students. Never do a school in Florida. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan to. I'm sure they're. But yeah. UNF does seem like. I did get the vibe that they cared for their students. It's just. I don't know. The vibe just wasn't it. I just didn't feel it. Wasn't really any good reason on paper. It's all perfectly fine. It just wasn't for me. This one is more. This one is for me. Also, it's like really beautiful. I need to send the pictures I took to the group chat. I like being in the city, lots of stuff to do. That's true. Mine's more of like a small college town, which, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to do because they like don't organize stuff to do. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like you're in your own little bubble, which is also kind of nice. It's sort of nice to just be around a lot of people who are just like my age. They're just sort of like in the same boat as I am. I'm not gonna go for all of the grass blocks on like these hills because this is the area, like these sort of hill things. This is where they probably would not be keeping this all super manicured because it would be annoying to access and there's not really too much you can build on here. So it's just kind of like, personally, when it works. Yeah, like I went to orientation, and like I kind of met some people, not really a whole lot. It wasn't quite as like people meeting heavy as the Bahamas trip, but still I met some people. There was one bit where it's like after all the orientation stuff, there was like a hangouty type thing with where all the orientation leaders, which is like volunteer students who help do orientation stuff, and also the actual orientation students. I think I was one of not a whole lot of people that were like rising freshmen that were at orientation hangout. It was pretty much all just the orientation leaders who kind of just had to be there. But hey, I networked. I met some people. Will I ever talk to these people again? Who knows? Imagine me having a TV show. That would be entertaining. It would be chaotic as fuck, and I would watch every second of it, low key. Oh yeah, and also a dude, I don't know if I met him or if he was just like one of the people who saw like my college Instagram profile thing where it's like you put your profile on their Instagram and people that go to your college can kind of like reach out and get to know you. So I don't know. I think he probably just found me through that, but he's like another guy's trying to like get me introduced to his like he wants me to like meet his fraternity members and maybe I've got that locked in the bag. And I've met one of them because he gave me a number and told me like text this number, meet this dude, and that guy's chill as fuck. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I might have a spot in a fraternity. I do think I would prefer a fraternity over a dorm if I could just find one where the culture is good, just because that you're living in like an actual house that probably has spots I can install ceiling fans. Beware if that's like the only thing that makes me like unsure about them is they can have questionable culture sometimes. So it's just a matter of like finding one where they're not questionable and where they'll let me put ceiling fans in. Yeah, I don't really know too much about that lifestyle. I'll learn more, see if I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Femboy fraternities. That should be an idea that someone should make, a fraternity where everyone's a femboy. Femboy frat would go crazy. But yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to really accomplish for this session. We've got grass, we've got a little bit of variety, because that's just how I want it to look. these parts being regular grass is intentional. I think azalea color on top of azalea color wouldn't be as great, so. But yeah. We have grass now. We've got landscaping. Looks fantastic, yeah. Also, I went with moss, A, because it's easy to spread, but also B, because the main grass color for this area is either all of this stuff, which is like, it's a little bit blue for my liking, or the dark oak grass, which just is gross. I don't like it. I like everything else about this area of land, but the grass colors kind of suck. Moss, it is a little bit on the yellow side in comparison to like a jungle biome, but I'd rather have it that than this. Plus, isn't it weird that I'm going to eat dinner at 2 p.m.? Yes, that is weird and confusing. Yeah, also, moss generates these little carpety bits, which is kind of cool because the inspiration for this, the grass there, is like, it's manicured decently well, but it still feels like it still feels nature-y. So having just a little bit of sporadic carpeting gives it a little bit of a level without looking completely manicured. I don't know. Obviously, I'm gonna have to make roadways. There's probably gonna be docks. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. This base is gonna see a lot of other buildings and shit as time goes on. But for now, it just needs to be the storage room. The next item on the agenda will be this nether portal because that is not pretty. I need it to be pretty. But I need to figure out what I want to even do with it first. And also, yeah, so we'll connect to this landmass. We'll probably also end up sort of extending back into here. And it's not, well, maybe back in here. I don't know, there's not a whole lot of room. I'll probably end up prioritizing this, and also this island's cool. Love FSU today for summer term, can you believe it? Damn. Man, that sucks. There's not gonna be like a group goodbye. Boo! I already miss them. Yeah. But yeah, that landscaping, that's kind of all I wanted to accomplish. I just wanted to tell my awesome stories. Whenever we need to get together again. Real! I'll be home for a little bit over winter break. I don't know how, I mean, I hope they'll let me not stay here for super long. I'll be here for Christmas, but I'd like it to be like a week maximum, just because I'm not one who likes to, like, I like to not be because like my college, that will, like, obviously I know people say like, oh, going home for the summer, going home for winter, but like, yes, this is where I grew up, but like my actual home, my actual place that I'll live, my actual place that I'll want to be is gonna be my actual college. So but yeah, that is gonna be it for this stream, I think, because I've done everything I wanted to. I've told all my stories. We have grass now. I mean, it's technically moss, but shut up. But yeah, thank you all for watching and listening to my bullshit. I will see you all later. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that, and yeah.